And welcome back. I think we were here 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we were. And hey, we have a friend. It's that one dude.
Hold on.
Oh,
I am not seeing it switch, Danny.
well, I'm seeing it switch on my feed.
Well, there it is. Never mind.
There we go.
Fuck you too.
Oh, Tanya, hi.
Twitch. Jesus. God.
But yeah, we have a special guest today.
We do.
That one dude. Yes, Adam, you've identified him. It's Ben.
Hello.
Hi.
So, for those of you who don't know who this is, we have talked about it, but this is Ben from the Redacted Reports, and he's our friend, and we like him.
God, that's terrifying.
Well,
not the friend liking, but we've talked about him. Somebody figured out who I was. I'm like, oh shit, this is getting weird.
We talk about most people.
We do. We talk
in
about
only
a lot of our
good
friends.
ways.
Yes, we're very nice to our friends. That there are other people we talk about, but we don't do that live on stream. We've got some smarts to us.
No, we cut that conversation right before you counted us in.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. You'll never know who it was.
Unless we talk about it later.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Ben. I play Rooster on the Redacted Reports, Delta Green podcast. You may have heard of me if you watch this. If you haven't heard us, please go listen. We need numbers.
So good.
It's
so
totally
good.
It's also
worth it.
really, we're also really proud of what we're creating. So
Because it's fantastic, and you should be.
I'm really proud of what you're creating.
Well, so I'm still relatively new to the gaming space in just the last several years, and the actual play space as well. But from what I've watched and seen, what I think really makes Redacted Reports different is our producer and actor Tiana Wren, who makes it feel like the way I described it to my parents is it's an improv audio show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, very much so.
And it doesn't feel like a game audio play, and that's what I love most about it.
Yeah, I agree.
This
Sorry
season
to
I'm
get
getting to
along.
listen to episodes I wasn't in that I'd never heard before.
That is super
And
exciting.
I'm
Isn't that
like,
exciting?
it's I've never had this. I'm like, oh my god, is this what it feels like when they all start red stringing?
Yes!
I
Yes,
started
it is!
taking notes on one of the episodes. I'm like, damn it, I have these notes.
Yep, no, it's a thing. Tanya's maybe a little bit starstruck. That's cool. We were too.
Yes. Ben is awesome.
That's only because you haven't met me yet, Tanya. Once you do, you won't be starstruck. You'll be like, oh yeah, that one dude.
So
Or that one asshole as I had up there for a while.
not gonna lie, I was telling Danny and Ren, because we're friends with Ren, that I was real nervous about this episode because I don't know you. So I'm like, oh no.
As Danny can say, I'm a very outgoing, personable person who will only then kick himself later for saying all the things and second guessing.
That's fine. You work well with us then, because we're the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Also,
We do have the cry break scheduled for later, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we've got like a good 30 minutes booked at the end of the podcast, or stream. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just remember, crying is a free action.
Yes.
But also only do it on company time.
I thought that was for pooping.
Both.
Both.
Okay.
If your job gives you mental anguish, cry on the clock.
Yep.
I better. I'm about to go back into teaching. I'm going to remember that one.
Yeah, cry on the
Yeah.
clock. Yep.
Cry on the clock.
No, I love teaching. I left because of the industry, not the
Yeah.
students.
So,
No, I understand that because I also was supposed to go into teaching.
I was, but I basically, I won't tell the horror stories, but I got royally screwed over by my district. And so many times, and at that point, I was 25, and I'm like, I can go into tech and get paid a living wage and get treated like a human. And
Let's do
finally, I
this.
got tired. Finally, I got tired of doing things that sucked my soul away. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go do soul-fulfilling work instead.
Yep. I mean, similar situation, but I was fucked over by my college. So
oh,
anyway,
Yeah, I know those stories too.
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
See, I loved teaching when I was teaching, and it was other life circumstances that caused me to move, which made me give
Yeah.
up my job. So,
Yeah,
That's
that's
fine.
fair.
But
Ren's trying, but the whole thing was that Ren was like, when you come out here to meet Ben in person, you'll realize he's just a big nerd like the rest of us. And I'm like, fair. Yes,
yep,
yes.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All of the swords. All
All
of
of
the
the
books.
books. Yes.
That
Yes.
is most of that is my history reference section
I love
because I
that.
was a history major and I'm a reenactor, and most of that is a good chunk of that is history organized by time period, and the
Nice.
fiction is by author the correct way.
Of course, yeah.
What reenactments did you used to do? Getting
Uh,
off
S-
topic already.
no, it's like SCA, Society for Creative Anachronism.
Okay.
But I know before people start typing about SCA isn't reenactment, I know I went from the I'm going to do this as historically as I can aspect. The SCA is great because it doesn't have to be exact. You can show up and just have fun, or you can be as perfect as you want to be. And I was trying to be that side, so that's why I call it reenactment.
I love it. I
My
won't. I would never say anything. I'd be like, yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
well, just to explain about the huge nerd, my last epic drunk retail therapy.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what it was?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Cream
He's
all over
attached.
the wall.
Oh, it's a big book.
It's a very big, very
Oh,
big book. Oh yes.
nice.
Bless.
Which have been on my list for so long, but I had never bought because of the shipping from Ireland,
Right.
because it's only from the Museum of Dublin.
Ah.
That's why it was a drunk buy.
Yep.
I'm a nerd.
We all are. Yeah.
Yes, we all are. It's okay. One of these days, I'm going to figure out the best way to turn this camera so you can see the wall over there. That is most of my reference books. But there's a very large section of biology, lots of anatomy books. I have at least 8 different anatomy textbooks and 2 copies of Gray's Anatomy.
Nice.
There's a fairly large chemistry and physics section. There are 2 shelves of classics, a lot of Greek literature, but also architecture. I took some architecture classes. Yes.
So I'm gonna be that guy now.
Yes,
I need
please.
to change the name from that one dude. You say classics.
Yes.
Define what you mean by classics.
Well, what I am talking about specifically are the textbooks for the classics degree that I got.
Okay.
So ancient Greece and Rome mostly.
So here's, I know we've had this conversation in person, but it's funny because my degree is in ancient history, specifically Rome. So I probably have a ton of the same texts, but what I love is classics usually looks at it more from, please correct me if I'm wrong, more from like a literature kind of a standpoint or cultural.
Yes. I've got a lot of literature and I've got a lot of architecture and art.
But whereas history, like I have a really obscure book called The Golden Ass, as in
heard
donkey.
of that.
Right. It's a 3rd century. It's the oldest Western novel, like in its entirety. It's a novel. And it turns out at the end, it's hilarious. It's a proselytizing the cult of Isis. The whole thing has been showing how bad the Roman Empire is. But whereas classicists would look at that mostly as the text, almost more of like an English major.
Right.
We were using it as looking at how culture and history was happening, using it as a case study.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the difference of a history brain.
Yeah.
DB's like, I'm an English major, let me in on this.
Yes, I am an English major, but I studied more of British and American literature, which was very, very that was what they pushed at my college a lot. But we had always had the Shakespeare classes and whatnot like that, so it was very fun. Yep, very fun. We had 2 teachers, a husband and wife, One taught American literature, the other one taught British
Nice.
literature. We were in the middle of a test, and he busts through the door and starts quoting by memory Beowulf. And I'm sitting there
Good for
looking
him.
at it. Yeah, I was sitting there looking at him, and his wife goes, "Honey, we're in the middle of a test," and he's just like, "Oh no," and runs out. And I'm like,
That's
"Sir."
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had
because
to check. We did end up getting rid of the bad translation.
of
I've
Beowulf.
only got 2 on the shelf.
Aw.
So my wife was an English major, and I started as an English major, and then realized I was more interested in the history and the people who had written it
Mhm.
Right.
than the stories themselves, especially because English major was most of it was sort of modern
Yeah.
from a history standpoint of 1500 on, and my interest lies much earlier. So
Right.
I switched.
I was like 3 credits away from getting a minor in folklore.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
And the only reason why I didn't was because at the time that I was about to graduate, I needed at least 1 minor. I had more credits for that minor, so I went into creative writing as the minor. And then my folklore teacher was like, "But also me," and I was like, "Listen, hun, I'm sorry. I don't want to be in school anymore."
I see you has minor. I like also minor, DB.
I see you. Would you like second minor? And I'm like, "No, let me leave, please."
Yeah, that's
I was in a. Sorry, go ahead.
that's how I ended up with 2 degrees. Is I I took a Bachelor of Science with honors, and apparently it works differently in
Ooh.
Canada than it does here, because
Yeah.
the with honors isn't based on your marks but on the coursework itself, and
Oh, never mind. I take back my ooh.
you do a research thesis.
I turn into ooh.
Yeah, so it wasn't that I was doing really well and getting great grades. Did okay, but I did a thesis project, and it was a research-based thesis, and most of the people who did that course took it as a 5th year, like as an additional year.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Yeah.
then were only taking technically 1 course, and
So you could focus on.
you could
spend
focus
the
on
whole
it.
time on it.
Because
Yeah.
in a science major, every class comes with a lab, basically. So your 4
right.
courses are basically like taking 8,
Hey,
just in terms of weight. And
Well,
so I spread it out with classics courses in between for fun. And by the
makes
time
sense.
I got the end of my biology degree, I needed 3 more courses worth of credit hours to have a Bachelor of Arts. So I said, okay, I'll stick
Okay.
around.
Yeah.
I mean, I pretty much had similar thing in terms of time wise. I didn't have labs, but I had reading,
Mm-hmm.
and just the amount of reading you have for history or English.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I remember the last book I read for my English degree. That doesn't mean the last one I was assigned, but the last one I read
Yeah.
was Dracula, and I remember cranking that out in 2 days.
Yes.
And that's part of when I realized if I'm reading this as literature, I want to spend more time with it.
Yeah.
Because I just put on Danse Macabre by Cesson, the classical piece, and I put it on repeat and drove my roommate out of the dorm and just read it like crazy.
Yep.
It was one of those things. So my
Am I supposed to
roommate-
have like started the project?
Oh
already,
no!
or-
Oh,
Dee
no.
is playing with her head, and I've started things because that's what I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should,
Okay, you know what? Yeah, let's go back to
Yeah.
how we actually do this show.
we get distracted
You
really
told
easily.
me.
I did
Okay,
tell you.
you told me that we would have tangents, and that's okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no,
Absolutely.
it's fine. It is. We don't normally start the show off on tangents, but it was beautiful.
This is why Redacted reports we instituted a no off-topic comments, put it in the chat, and we just have a chat for all the jokes,
Yeah.
which is why the outtakes are now only dog noises and technical problems for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the funny stuff is turned into chat, which nobody will see.
We'll start off with the question that I always ask Danny, but it's now to you as well, Ben. What have you been working on? Craft wise.
Okay.
Well, I finished last episode's project. I have a zombie.
Oh yeah, I stopped doing
that's
that.
adorable.
He's a little weird zombie. I made him a tie. And
It looks like, oh my god, he needs an orange cone, and because he with the tie he already looks like the Plants vs Zombies guy.
he does. I can make him a cone. I'll make him a cone.
Or a bucket, one or the other.
Danny could just stare at the zombie and it would like the cone would just appear because that's how fast she does things.
Sometimes.
You fiber artists like astound me. My brain doesn't think in that direction. That's not making fun of myself. I embroider, I do some, but when taking a one-dimensional object and yes, I know it's not actually one-dimensional, but go with me.
Something that is a single dimension essentially.
Yeah, and turning it into a three-dimensional thing like that just astounds me, because I know where my artistic side lies, and that is not it.
Well, I'm also working on. It's not a whole lot yet. It is the beginnings, the tiny, tiny beginnings of a shawl. But not just a shawl, it's a shawl design. And I'm going to show you the secret sauce here of the notebook and the chaos that is my brain when I try to design something.
It's a pizza!
Yes!
So there's the drawing that I made on a piece of scrap paper at work, and then the post-it note of the chart that I'm trying to work out, and then a whole bunch of stuff scribbled out because I started it and I ripped it out because it wasn't turning into the right shape, and I started again. Mm-hmm. But I started that yesterday.
Is it a pizza shawl?
It is not. It kind of looks like one.
Oh, shoot. I was thinking that too.
It's based on a character in the game I'm playing on Monday nights.
Oh, yes.
Oh, cool.
Her name is Oclis, and she's played by Lauren, who is absolutely fantastic. But Oclis is the daughter of Charon, and, demigoddess of the dead, who's at the magic school for funsies.
As one does.
She wears...
Is it a Strixhaven game or a Theros?
It is a Kids on Brooms. So, like Kids on Bikes, but with magic.
I'm like I said, I'm still fairly new to the scene. Is that a system, Kids on Bikes, or is that just a genre?
Yeah, Kids on Brooms is a system, and it's very similar to the Kids on Bikes system. It uses 6 die, but instead of rolling for, like, in D&D, you roll a 20 and you add whatever to it. You've got 6 stats, and each stat has a different dice value. So, like, my character, her best stat is her brawn, so that's her 20. So she gets to roll a 20 for her brawn. And her worst stat is her brains, which is her 4. So when a brains check comes up, she has to roll a d4.
That's actually really interesting.
Why did I think this was more of a Monster of the Week system?
Well, that's powered by the Apocalypse, right?
Yeah. That's what I thought Kids on Brooms was powered by the Apocalypse.
No. I mean, just the name Kids on Brooms, Thirsty Sword Lesbians, Monster of the Week, it just sounds like...
It feels like it goes well together, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a powered game.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the character wears this bright, sunny... She is pale as a sheet of paper with long, dark, stringy hair. She looks like the girl that crawls out of the TV in that movie.
Samara.
Yeah. She keeps describing herself as that.
The Ring?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the pictures of it.
For being on a horror show podcast, I am not into horror, so I have no idea.
Why I'm here. I watch all the horror stuff.
Yes. My problem is I don't like jump scares. I fall for them, and I just think they're dumb. But also, I'm like, I can feel it coming, and then when it happens, I jump because I'm trope savvy, because I'm a writer, and I'm just like, that was lazy writing. Just, like, give me something decent. So the only horror I like are things that, fuck me up for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
After I watch it. Like when The Sixth Sense came out, or actually even Pitch Black was really good because the pre-Riddick. The first Vin Diesel one.
Yeah.
Because of how they use darkness and created fear with very little, as opposed to the monster itself.
Right.
That movie I actually thought got worse when they showed the monster.
There is a movie that it messes with me. I've only watched it once. I can't watch it more than that. Which is saying something because I fall asleep to horror movies. And it's called Lights Out. I can only watch it once.
I know that name.
Terrifies me.
Ooh.
It's based off a short off of YouTube by the same name.
Yeah.
Where every time she turns off the light, a shadow shows up like in the hallway. And like it just keeps getting closer. And they turned it into a full-length movie and I went, guess I'm sleeping with the lights on now.
Yep.
Oh, it's awful.
Well, I don't know if you were done, Danny, but that's a great segue that I can go off
Absolutely. We just segue around. It's fine.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Because one of the projects, I finished this a while ago, but it's almost finished going out to patrons, is my first horror story. So I write for Redacted Reports, I write something called the Supplemental Case Files, we call it. It started as fanfic about my character. Literally.
Yeah.
Like other stuff about his backstory or something going on, behind the scenes between missions, and then became something else. And now it's getting me to write again, and I love it. And my first horror story, on Friday, chapter 10 of 12 came out to the patrons, which I am quite proud of this.
It is so fucking good.
Genre.
I need to read it. I'm so sorry.
If you haven't read Evaluation first.
Okay.
Yes.
They came out in this order for a reason.
Okay. I will.
Evaluation is available to everybody.
Ooh.
www.theredactedreportspodcast.com. See? Shilling.
There you go.
Hold on.
I never do that. I'm doing
Are
that.
you going to type it in ChatDB?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Because one of the NPCs in my game from last night famously does finger guns, so we've decided he's an artificer.
Okay, yep, that works.
Because of the Redacted Reports podcast.
The Redacted Reports podcast. Thank you.
.com.
Yep. There you go, guys. Woo. I won't get blocked in our chat. I am a mod.
Woo. Yeah, I think I finally am. That took a while.
You are.
Yep.
Listen, you got other privileges before I did that I had been asking for, so.
Yeah. And one of these days, I will go back to updating our website.
I would bring up the Twitch to type in stuff myself, but this computer is almost 10 years old and they can't handle that.
Oh, yeah, there are some computers that just don't play well with all the things that have to go on when you're streaming a thing, and that is fine.
I'm in a D&D game now that we're using Roll20 and Discord for chat and video, and that is real iffy.
Yeah, that can be...
It doesn't have a problem with Zoom. It has a problem with Discord.
Okay.
Chat.
Yeah.
But anyways, art-wise, if I can brag, I've been finishing a bunch of little small projects. I also do something called the Rebel Legion, which is Star Wars costuming.
Oh.
Geek red. So you may have heard of the 501st Legion. They're the stormtroopers, but it's all screen accurate, has to be like screen accurate.
Right.
And it's a charity organization. So we go to troops at cons and things, but also like community 4th of July parades or Run for Life, Walk for Life, whatever it's called, for American Cancer Society, or we go to children's hospitals in costume, which is my favorite. So I finished my Endor Trooper costume. So one of the guys in camouflage from Return of the Jedi. And since I've got all these pouches and pockets, I hate just stuffing them with foam because it's lame.
Right.
Especially because I may not look like it anymore, but I used to do a lot of outdoor stuff. So I've sort of turned it into the con survival bags.
Yes.
Nice.
So I took some duct tape, rolled it around a stick the way you're trained to, some gaffer's tape, a pen, snacks. I took a military surplus canteen and actually made it look Star Warsy.
I think I saw pictures
I can give
of
you all
that.
pictures, probably with the yellow stripe.
Yeah.
I can give you pictures of these later.
Yes, please.
Or leave and go grab them from the garage in a minute. But the other one I've really had fun with is took these little tins, like Altoid tins, and I put the Star Wars in-universe Red Cross symbol on one, and I put a little gear and wrench symbol on the other, so I have sewing kit and first aid kit.
Yes.
Nice. I
That's
like that.
amazing.
So I love being able to like take out the thing that someone needs. Like someone needs a safety pin. Oh, I'll take this little thing out, and it looks like I'm in universe.
I love that.
I love
That's
that.
awesome.
Yep. I found a cool STL file that it's like one of the things on Han Solo's belt, but it's made to hold a little battery phone charger thing.
Yes.
Nice.
And I've asked a friend to print it for me because I don't have a printer, and said, and then I can actually hide my battery
Phone
charger better.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, I'm looking forward to my next visit to your area because I'm going to have a lot of stuff for you. Which reminds me,
Are you the
I
printer?
should say yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I
I'm
was
the
like,
printing
I
friend.
was like, wait a
I was
minute.
saying it very subtly because
Yeah.
I didn't want to be like shaming her in case she hadn't started or anything, because I didn't know.
I'm
I didn't want to be
slowly
like
working through them.
because I didn't want to be like, well, I asked someone.
Oh yeah. Listen, I know a lot of people who have them, so I was like, oh yeah, somebody over where Ben's at. Nope, it's Danny.
Just Danny
Well,
is fine.
I've got a couple friends in the
Yeah.
area who do, but I try not to ask too much of any like one person.
Understandable. I completely understand that. I try not to ask for a lot of things as well because I'm like, I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage of my friends.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
fine.
then actually-
I have a favor to ask in return, and it'll all work out.
Is this the glove or the baldric we talked about?
Neither. It's actually I need to ship something to. I don't want to ship it to the hotel where
Canada.
I'll be staying because it's always a mess to get it there.
Yeah, just have it shipped to me and I'll stick it in the shop.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to take a box full of razor blades on an airplane. I feel like they don't look too fondly on that.
Is this for your like work thing?
Yeah,
that
this
you
is
have
for
to go-
work.
Okay, I'm like, why are you shipping
Why did you
razor
razor
blades? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it didn't even question it. I'm like, I've got so many razor blades in the shop because razor blades are useful. I
they
didn't
are.
even question it.
oh yeah. Well, I only questioned it because it was one of those things that I was like, why are you doing this?
You question it because Danny's not allowed to use blades on her own.
Do you know? Okay, for this show alone, Danny goes, "Hey, here's my neighbor's number in case I cut myself. I'm in Ohio, like."
And I am not.
Not doing crafts that would make you pass out home alone.
I have mostly stopped. It's fine. So today we are we're making heads. We've got styrofoam heads that we're going to make look like wooden heads with hatchets in them because that's something that's in the green box. And you'll notice that I don't have a hatchet today because I am not going to cut things when I am unsupervised. Well, that'll work too.
I appreciate you, Danny, for not cutting things unsupervised. Because there's been too many where you're like, here's my neighbor's phone number, call them if something happens. And I'm over here like, if you're passed out on the floor, I'm panicking in Ohio. Like,
Well,
I am not the person.
I don't know.
This is a really old hatchet that wasn't mine that I inherited, and because if it was mine, it would have been sharp enough to actually stick.
Yeah.
That's a pride thing. Sorry. Not this pride, but an ego.
Yeah.
Yes. But yes,
I don't know if you can hear the chaos behind me, but the rest of the family just got home and the dog
dog's
went
gonna
insane.
dog.
The dog is gonna dog, yeah. No, yeah. Oh,
so you're carving the grain in first.
Yes, I've decided. But yeah, I'm going to do a rough work in of the wood grain because I feel like it might cooperate a little better. Plus, if you're using a ballpoint pen, if you leave marks, then you'll cover them over with paint. I have this nifty little stylus tool that's just got little balls on the ends.
Oh, I've got those for leather work.
Yeah, and so I'm just using that to make vaguely wood greenish looking bits. I also have some more stabby ones that have a little cover.
Uh-oh. What's that phone number again?
I'm not using those. I'm using the ballpoint thing.
So
Great question. She didn't give it to me this time.
Because I'm not being sharp. It's fine.
So, I mean, I'm a firm believer. I'm one of those people who grew up like just working with tools and projects, and I learned about the project gods a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
That if you don't bleed on it, they will take their vengeance later.
That's my back. They decided to take it out on my back.
Same here. But like I was sewing a vest for the first time and everything was going perfectly. It was lined and it was working great. And then I learned that you can't sew the arm's eye closed.
Oh.
And before you flip it.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a little bit challenging.
My skills are mostly in execution of multiple media, not the kind of creation.
Okay.
So, like, leather I can do, because leather, you ask for a 2x2 inch square, you get a 2x2 inch square.
Yeah.
Fabric, you ask for it, and then you go, okay, yeah, but which side do you want me to fray on, and which way are we going to stretch?
Yeah.
And you haven't ironed me this minute.
Yeah.
So painting is not usually my thing. So I just kind of gonna go for it.
Oh yeah, that's how most of this
we do it here. Is we just wing it, and sometimes we end up with really cool stuff, and sometimes we end up with a diorama coated in nail polish, and it's fine.
You end up with a diorama covered in nail polish. I end up with the thing I definitely didn't throw into the trash.
I should probably throw out that diorama coated in nail polish. I was trying to go for a blood look, and I didn't have any red paint, but I had red nail polish, so I used that. And
what was that? Okay, hold on. What project was that for?
That was the Cabin in the Woods diorama where we did the elevator scene. So I got a whole bunch of army men and red nail polish.
Right, you did that. I tried to make the cabin, and then I only got to the porch.
Well, I'm going straight to the base coat because I figure I work with wood enough. I'm going like, I can't make the grain, but I can potentially fake it with paint, but I'm not going to spend enough time making enough grain.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel better, the only way I'm putting lines into this is by my thumbnail, so...
No, I'm not saying I can't. I'm just
saying... Oh, yeah, no.
You're not going to.
Yeah. My project making is basically when it comes to, like, what you would classically think of as fine art, like in a museum kind of stuff, I don't do that. If it's sort of creating art...
Yeah.
I don't usually do that. I make things and I will decorate them, but I don't usually create the decoration myself. If it's Star Wars, I'm taking an image off the internet or from the films. If it's, historical, I'm using an image from an artifact or an illumination of some sort.
Right.
And then I'm copying it, but I'm not sort of doing that, drawing it, painting it stuff. I'm more design the thing I'm going to do based on this extant piece in a museum, figure out how I'm going to do it, and then hope I can find a way to copy the decoration because I can't draw it freehand on my own.
And that's where it comes in handy to have things like a Cricut machine or friends who have a Cricut machine.
Yes. Danny is the...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, Danny has made me stencils. Before too. But I actually just got one on my local like buy nothing group.
Ooh,
someone said,
bless.
Cricut machine with some fonts and stuff for $25. I was like, snag.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then realized it's a 1.0. It's the original
Oh,
one.
with the cartridges?
Yeah.
I had that one.
But what that means is all I can do is words. That's all I can do, which is not what I want it for. So I've been having a lot of fun putting names on my kids' water bottles and lunch boxes and stuff.
Yep.
So that they have zero excuse to forget them.
I mean, it's not going to stop them, but...
No. I mean, the 3-year-old we call the Barbarian for a reason. Though she's becoming more Barbie than Barbarian, which I'm okay with. And since she's no longer 2, she's a 3-nager, so that's supposed to be different.
Oh.
And
yeah.
The 6.5-year-old he is very intellectual in the way that he's very in his head, focusing on things and moving really fast and forgetting the world around him.
Mm-hmm.
AKA, he's my son.
Comes by it honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
So I've been introducing him slowly to the Holy Scriptures, by which I mean the Star Wars movies.
Right. Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
You saw the video?
The video. That was fantastic.
So I recorded his reaction when Darth Vader told Luke he's his father.
Nice.
And then saved that video, and it's like the biggest jaw drop / yawn because it was late. But then what amazed me, if I can brag about my kid for a second,
of course,
is his sort of emotional astuteness. It wasn't, oh my God, is he lying? Is that real? His first reaction is, why is he trying to kill his son? And I'm like, he gets it, yes. And right now he's upstairs. He got his older cousins who have never seen it, and he put on A New Hope for them. And he's like, no, you have to watch it. This is the very first Star Wars ever made. And I'm like,
aww,
yes.
I love it.
Or to quote someone else, good. So I got an idea for the wood grain as I'm doing this, because the foam doesn't take the paint the way canvas does, right?
It definitely does not, no.
If I'm doing kind of a light coat and heavy brush strokes, and I make sure all the paint lines are going in the same direction, I don't know if this will show at all.
Oh yeah,
it looks good. Yeah,
it's got some.
And this is just a base coat of raw umber, and then I figure I'd go over it again with a dark and a light, kind of almost like a dry brush.
Yeah.
In parts to kind of give a false grain.
Yeah.
As opposed to doing that, which I'll be unhappy with if I do that.
Yeah, this is a challenge, but there's a lot of head.
That's what she said.
That's funny, because whenever I use this thing to hold up helmets and stuff, I'm like, the head is so small.
Well, it's small until you're trying to wood grain the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
so...
I finished the blaster rifle that you printed for me that was ginormous, so this is nothing.
True enough.
Like a 3-foot rifle, all 3D printed.
Prison Mom cries and saw New Hope in the theater when it released.
Prison Mom?
That is
one of our chatters,
Tanya.
Oh.
Tanya.
She is also a big Redacted Reports fan.
Is that the one I know as Red Dead Coquette?
Nope, that is a different Tanya.
That's a different Tanya, okay.
Oh, gosh.
Hi, Prison Mom. Thank you.
I
Hope your appeal turns out. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're fine. I think I've only watched any of the Star Wars because of this show.
Yeah. That's fine.
I'm not going to be that one who goes, sacrilege, oh, how can you? Because you like what you like, and that's okay, and that's cool.
It's definitely one of those things that I was like, okay, I'm going to start out and watch these. And when I told some friends, they were like, well, you have to watch it in this order. And I went,
nope.
There's too many rules, and now you told me I have to do something, and now I'm not going to do it. Hello!
Who dat? Hello, Adidas Fiend?
Adidas Fiend.
Hi.
Hello, how are you, friend or fiend?
Did you say Adidas Fiend?
Yes.
Oh shit, I know who that is.
Is that who I think it is?
I don't know. Who do you think it is?
Who do you think it is?
Maybe I'll answer. Maybe I won't.
Is that our friendly neighborhood handler?
Yes, it is.
That's what I thought. Hi!
Oh no! There's two of them here now.
Well, and Lady Benevire's in chat too, so, you know.
Well, but Lady Benevere comes and hangs out in my stream, so I'm cool with her. She cool.
She cool.
But yeah, Adidas Fiend is Dan, the handler on the Redacted Reports. The one who, in our private Discord, will wake up and it says 4 a.m. and there's just, he dropped a light bulb gif.
Oh dear.
Of course.
And we all go, shit.
Lady Benevere goes, he's just here taking notes. Don't worry about it. Listen.
He did say,
we're all gonna
listen.
listen.
Green box. So this may
It's
play...
okay, Lady Benevire's just probably like checking to make sure if she needs to call me and make me stop talking about something specific.
Well, as we did specify at the beginning of the show, and we will specify again, we are a spoiler-filled zone, but we're only going to talk about things that are actually on the podcast. We're not going to make Ben give up all of his secrets. We're
good, because I won't.
That's after hours.
that's during the crying session.
Oh no, we have finished recording the season that's coming out right now, and I'm not saying a damn thing.
Yeah, I've got lots
fair.
of questions that I'm going to be asking during the talkback because the format of this season is fantastic and it is different, and I'm sure there are reasons for that, and that we'll hear all about it in the talkback. So
that one I'm pretty sure I can answer. We'll talk more about it, but scheduling, is why we did this format of individual episodes. We just were all
busy.
Oh, that's cool. I can't wait to see the texture with colors. Yeah, we couldn't schedule enough time with all of us at the same time, so we made this new structure.
Lady Bedivere says that she is providing views for her friends. God,
we appreciate that so much.
Oh no, it has been an interesting change in storytelling. Hello, rogues. Oh no, there's
12.
more of them coming in.
Rogue Skater 12. I love this. I love having extra people that we don't normally see here.
I'm terrified.
Oh God, did I bring these people in?
You might have.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
That's terrifying. I have like
you have fans.
A known name. Ah.
So I'm thinking I might do just like the front of the face today. Especially because it'll give me something to grip onto at the back.
That's probably a better thing than what I did, which was the side of the head.
You know, whatever it takes.
Does yours have a hole in the bottom?
Mine does. It's mine's. Oh, it does have a pretty deep hole. I can.
That's what I did to hold it. I just stuck my finger in there, and I also figured.
Tell me how deep the hole is, Danny.
We're not going there. Look.
It's about as deep as the one you're digging right now.
I was in a very horny game last night. I'm trying to be cool today, man.
Your mom's not here. It's all good.
No, I haven't seen her yet. She might be here and just not be talking in chat.
Hashtag blame.
Oh, does that mean I can talk about the thing that...
Oh, dear.
No. Because there are other people that don't know about that too. Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. You asked me not to say that stuff, but it's funny just seeing your reaction when I mention it.
Yep.
But I wouldn't actually do it.
That's a true friendship right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Giving somebody shit, but not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
That's how friendships roll.
Yeah.
So I am not in my workshop, so I'm having to deal with whatever's in my office.
Isn't that a mood? Oh,
Well, I'm the person who has. I'm a pegboard person
Ah, okay.
in the shop,
yeah.
which doesn't mean they're all there, but I know where they are in like the piles and stuff.
Yeah.
So I am now scraping out half painted styrofoam with a pair of scissors.
This is how you get hurt. I worry. Listen, being on the show with Danny and her picking up a sharp object makes me have flashbacks.
Look, I have not made myself pass out on stream, and it's fine.
I was a Boy Scout. I had my tote and shit, and
I-
I know the first aid to take care of it.
Okay, good.
And more importantly, I very rarely cut myself deep enough that it's a problem.
Okay.
Well, and see, here's the thing: is that
You like how I hedged that?
yeah, I am fine with other people's blood. I work for eye doctors, and I have sat in on.
Why are eye doctors getting blood?
Well, I've sat in.
I say with a
on,
pair of scissors sticking out of a head.
on surgeries with the oculoplastic guys, and they're the ones that do like brow lifts and stuff. And you know how much how like head
can
wounds
we
bleed.
not?
Scalp.
Sorry, head wounds. Just
Okay.
head wounds.
Head wounds
Okay.
bleed.
Yes.
Yeah, they do like the brow lifts and stuff, the
Okay.
cosmetic things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know
It's
not
like-
to talk about the other things, but no, they do like things where there's head wounds.
Is this an X card I need to know?
Eyeballs.
Yes, I have
Okay.
an eye thing. Yeah.
Copy that. Copy that.
But-
yeah, it was one of the things that Dan asked about whenever we were doing patron episodes. He's like, "Is this crossing a line?" I went, "No, that is not."
Oh, were you in the patron record?
Yes, it was.
I haven't heard it yet. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I won't spoil anything about it, obviously, but it was a fun thing, and I was driving back from Georgia when Ren was like, "Hey, do you want to be in this?" And I'm like, "When?" And she's like tomorrow, and I'm like, "Oh, sure."
I did not think this through.
Soon. Oh God.
I did not. No, I didn't think this through.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, right. But the point is, I've sat in on those sort of surgeries where there's other people's blood all over the place. I am fine with anyone else's blood. My blood, I'm not okay with. It needs to stay in my body. And when it doesn't, my blood pressure drops and I have to lay down flat on the floor.
Yeah.
And it's just my own blood. Other people's blood, fine. Just mine has to be inside, and I've accepted that. And
So you don't donate blood then either?
I do not, but that's
Okay.
for a whole different set of reasons.
Oh, okay.
I always really wanted to donate blood,
Yeah.
but the first time I tried back in high school, they hit the nerve cluster in my elbow.
Ooh.
So I, went into shock and passed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second time I tried to donate blood in college, I was so wound up because I was nervous that my heart rate was too fast, so they wouldn't do it.
Right.
So the third time I tried, I specifically was going in like, okay, I'm all right. This is going to be fine. We're going to stay calm. That my heart rate was too low. And at a certain point, I just decided, fuck it. That
Just not
It's
meant
not-
to be.
this is just
Yeah.
not my thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely should have waited for this paint to dry before I did this.
Oops.
Listen, one of the hashtags for this show is mistakes were made.
That is one of our taglines. We mention that a lot.
I will
Mistakes
be
were made.
right back. I'm going to go get a
Okay.
paper towel.
Yep. Good luck
Good
with the
idea.
headphones. Yep, that feels appropriate for this sort of episode.
So while Ben is gone, no, I'm just kidding.
What are we going to talk about?
I don't know.
We didn't ask. Have
We-
you been doing any crafting?
Oh, wow, Danny. Yes, I actually have been. I'm gonna start working on my Halloween blanket where I knit different Halloween squares that are like jack-o'-lanterns, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I want to do like one. I want to say one a day, but that's not going to happen. So we're going to say like one, maybe a week. If I get more than one of those done, fantastic. But yeah, so I'm doing that. I'm still doing art, not fish head art, sadly. Apparently my obsession with that is gone now that the calendars have been made.
I didn't know if I was allowed to show that or not.
Oh yeah, you are. Oh yeah, they are yours. Do with them what you want. If you want to set them on fire for the abomination that they are, do it.
No. I mean, there might be a
Only
ritual
as-
sacrifice, but
Yeah, that I was gonna say only as like an art exhibition of it.
I'm so glad you guys liked them. I was not sure how they would go over because they're fucking weird.
Oh,
Like,
they are fucked up. They are foobar
yeah.
fully.
But
They
we
are
love
fucked
it.
up beyond all recognition. But so is the podcast and the content that it's referring to. So it kind of works.
I literally I did it. So the first one I did was an actual like trace of a pinup because I was like, "Oh, I'm just doing this as a stupid thing," and I wasn't going to finish it. And then I came home from D&D, showed my friend who was staying the night with me, and she's like, "Well, you have to finish it now." And I went, "But no." And she's like, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay." And then other friends were like, "Do other fish heads." And I was like, "Fine." And then Joseph was like, "Can we get male fish?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I guess so. Here we go."
Well, I love it. You had said at one point that like it got you drawing again.
It did. Yes.
And that made me so happy
it,
to hear that someone was making art.
Yeah, it did. Hello. We're doing well. How are you, Gritty Police?
hello.
Yes, it did. It also made me pick up a posing app so that I could put them in my own poses.
Posing app?
Yeah, so there's so I'm not very good at the body proportions and whatnot. So there's this thing called Magic Poser that helps artists who are like learning how to
sorry.
draw.
I heard that with
You-
a U in the word poser.
Oh, I'm sorry.
As in a poser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Poser. I'm looking at that because again, I am not a drawer, so I'm. Damn it! I wrote it with the U. Go on.
Ooh, nice. It was one of those things, and the thing is I wasn't gonna share them with any of you. They were gonna be between me, my God, and Ren,
And maybe me.
Close
and
enough.
maybe Danny. And then like Ren was like, "No, you have to show people," and I'm like, "All right," and then it's just taken off from there. And what's more fun is when my mom found out I was making things like that, because she was like, "I just don't get it," and I was like, "Listen,
It's okay.
To the redacted reports.
yeah." And I was like, "It's actually the magazine you guys actually have in the redacted reports is my shit is mild compared to that." Like,
Oh yeah, I think we can say the actual stuff is inspired was supposed to be penthouses from the 60s.
yes.
Yes.
And I was like, "No, I'm not doing that." Absurd is beautiful. Absurdity is beautiful. Yes. But that is how you guys got that. And then I did the chibi drink art because I was like, I want to do something that's kind of cute.
I love that so much.
I'm glad because it was.
I went home with the test Tumblr.
Yes.
Nice.
I need to pick up one because I haven't gotten one yet.
If you haven't seen it, I'm now talking to your audience, remembering that I'm on a stream and not just chatting with people. If you haven't seen it, the chibi art is amazing.
Aw.
There's a merch link on the website. You should really look at it. It's all the characters basically just glomming on to their favorite drink.
And Dan the handler has one. Hello, Percival.
There's a kitty. There's a kitty.
That's my baby boy. Also driving, so intermittent responses when light stops. Oh yeah, be safe
Yeah.
while you're driving, buddy. No, the peach one, so it was definitely one of those things that
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
I sent I sent them to Ren, and Ren was like, "Hey, can you do one for the handler as well?" Yes, exciting.
Who's
Uh
like 30-ish years sober now.
More
oh
Jimmy.
really?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's why it was peach flavored water and not.
I didn't know that. I was
No,
just
no, no.
told.
You're fine. You're fine. I'm just
Oh,
like congratulations because that's
oh
amazing to
yeah.
me.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. No, the thing is I just went, "Hey, Ren was like, "Can you make one for Dan?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can make one for Dan." That had been the plan. But I was like, "I don't know what drinks Dan likes." And she goes, "Let me ask." And she goes, "Peach flavored sparkling water." And I went, "What an interesting flavor to choose." And then I went into it, and the peaches were what took me the longest on that. Because I was like, "And we're gonna make these look really cute."
Well,
And
yeah.
then
But why? You should have already been used to it after the pinup.
That's the DB face that I know and love.
Hold on, I don't know you well enough yet. Was that a "I am going to kill you" later
No,
face or a
absolutely
"ah
not.
shit, you got me" face?
"Oh shit,
Yeah,
you
it was
got me"
more the
face.
second.
Okay, okay. That was legitimately like a
Oh, yeah.
okay. Did I cross a line? Did I cross a good line? Got
It was
it.
a- it was
Okay.
a fun one.
If you ever actually cross a line, I will tell you. Like,
Okay,
I am not
good, thank
I'm
you.
not somebody who does that.
I'm someone who tries very explicitly to make sure, even
Yeah.
in real life, the people on here who know me know that I'm constantly like, wait, was that okay? Or
Oh yeah.
double checking myself to a fault.
I am like that as well. You are completely fine. But no, you're correct. But also the other thing I got was a close-up picture of Dan's face so that I could draw him in chibi form. I don't think anybody knows that, but like Red and I, and now everybody does. Now all
It's
of
so
China knows.
cute.
Oh, it
I
was
should,
so much
if I
fun.
get up again, I need to go grab that Tumblr because it's so cute.
It is so
I
cute.
feel like the Redacted Reports has gotten several people back into doing art stuff.
I mean, it got me writing. And I know I'm part of it, but that was a big thing because I had stopped writing after I gave up on selling my book.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a book I wrote in my 20s, and I spent a long time on it. Like, I've actually studied writing.
Yeah.
But as I got older and I decided the industry's about who you know, and I'm terrible at that kind of stuff. And then I got older and I realized that it isn't really the story I want to tell anymore. So I just stopped writing.
It is very interesting that like the amount of support I got with the fish heads. I was just like, I was not expecting this.
Have people on your show actually seen what these fish heads are that you're talking about?
Not this show, no. But I did that one on a ship.
So the whole thing, this actually does tie into the episode because here's March.
Funny.
This does tie in because in the show, Delta Green, the game that we're playing, is, I like to describe it as X-Files meets Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
So it's eldritch horror, but we're agents kind of dealing with it in one shape or form, which usually includes fire, knowing us. But one of the things is we have the green box, which has all these weird kind of artifact things, which is where the wooden head with an axe in it that kind of likes to turn north came from. But one of the things in there was a stack of penthouse with fish heads covering all the people's heads.
Yep. And then that keeps showing up. Like throughout it now, and I'm like, is Dan just trying to get me to draw more? Like, what is happening? That's the pride one. I think that's one of the last ones I actually did.
God, I need to actually look through it, because wasn't there a blobfish? Because that was my favorite.
No, I don't think I have a blobfish in there. I do have a well, now I'll make you one with a blobfish bed just for you.
Well, because blobfish are just so cute.
Well, the sad part is blobfish don't look like that.
Oh no, only when they're on land and they're not supported properly.
Right, because they're from super deep with pressure.
Yeah.
Although I love the American Beauty.
Yes.
That one took so long. There's a very sexy anglerfish. There's several sexy anglerfish. Also, all of them have names. I don't know if anybody else knows that, but I know that.
I love that.
Oh no, this one is by far my favorite.
Ah, yes. The daddy one.
Happy Father's Day, and that is also related to the fish in question on the show.
The one thing that I didn't get done before I sent those out to you guys is I wanted to put specific dates in there that were important to the podcast. I just did not have time.
This is amazing.
What a great question, Dan. I have to think. One of them. Oh yeah, that's Jackson. The Halloween one is possibly my favorite because of the look on the bucket's face.
Oh yeah, I was gonna. I was gonna grab that one too.
There's Jackson, Jessica, Derek, Olga. I think is the anglerfish.
Which one? There's like 3.
They're all the same fish. Him and his little socks.
Go. I love that he's holding one lollipop.
One lollipop.
Just one. I
notes.
I'm just waiting for somebody to walk in to join the stream right at that and go, what the?
Yeah.
Oh, right, it's Danny and DB. Okay.
Yeah, not surprising. Also, Dan, if you want notes about the fish, message me.
Yeah, we need those names to be NPCs in the future.
Oh my god, they're very I need to look at my files because I haven't looked at the names in a while, but I was naming them as I went along.
I love that.
We don't have a Jackson, but there is a Jackston NPC.
True.
Yes.
Okay, I gotta put this down because it's getting all over my hands.
You got to the point I'm at. Yeah. I'm letting the coat
dry. Yep.
Well, it's not even the paint is dry, but it's coming off because it's styrofoam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're at that point where I'm just gonna let it dry.
Well, normally I would prefer to put a layer of spray.
Mm-hmm.
But this is going way back. I know not to because in 6th grade when we were doing our ancient Greece unit, and part of I remember this distinctly because I loved it. We had to make an artifact or do a project of something. So I remember somebody brought in stuffed grape leaves that they made at home. Somebody made, it could be presentation, it could be a visual, and I wanted to make a Greek helmet because I had this amazing, it's somewhere over here, illustrated kids version of the Iliad and the Odyssey. And so I wanted to make one of the Greek helmets in it. So I got a styrofoam round ball, cut off the bottom and kind of hollowed it out with the nasal. And then a circle that I cut into the crest and covered with feathers, and I spray painted it with bronze spray paint. And it eats away at the styrofoam.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the point of that story. I just wanted to share that I was a nerd that early.
I love that.
My mom going to look for the fish.
On her last, one of her last trips here, my mom brought me a box of stuff, and it had my first book ever from 1st grade. And it was The Princess and the Unicorn. And I remember stressing over trying to find the right word because I didn't want to say that she fainted because it sounded too girly and not the right word, and I couldn't come up with another word. And the teacher said, "Oh, that's the perfect word," and I didn't like that, and I was very upset about it.
All right. I have
Yeah,
fish names.
we had that thing also where we did we had the publishing center and they'd laminate and put in bindings.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that too.
I did the half dragon kids in 4th grade.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, names. Go ahead.
Names. So we have Ashley, Deborah, Helga, not Olga, Helga, Derek, Jackson, and then an anglerfish that is unnamed. Unnamed male anglerfish.
Okay.
That looks
I
so
feel like
good,
it's looking
Danny.
kind of woodish.
It is, definitely.
So here's actually the picture I remember being inspired by in 6th grade.
Nice.
But this was a great book. It covers
Oh yeah.
like it's very abridged, but it actually covers, book by book what happens in it. And unlike most Greek mythology for kids, actually makes the gods petty and
Oh my gosh.
Achilles
As they
to be a
are.
whiny bitch.
As he is.
As he is.
Well, he's a whiny bitch and then he's heartbroken, legitimately.
Yeah, he's a whiny
Oh,
bitch.
sorry.
He's a
I'm sorry.
whiny bitch.
Not heartbroken because Patroclus was his roommate, so he was just sad.
Ah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They were roommates.
They were roommates.
Mm-hmm.
There was just one bed.
They were just very close friends.
Through my headphones behind me, I'm hearing a 3-year-old Barbie Barian going, ooh, ooh.
Adorable. I think mine's looking a little woodish.
It is.
Mine looks a little bit more deformed than Danny's does.
Yeah.
All right. Put it down or you'll ruin it.
This is it's more paint streaky, but I think it works.
Yeah, no, it looks great. We're gonna
And this thing's actually I inherited this. It's the duct tape wrap that's falling off from 40 years ago.
That's amazing.
Hey, I can pick it up now.
Yay!
Yay! my prop one was supposed to be here today, but Amazon. I think
so spoiled by 2-day shipping.
we are.
And I say that we as a global we.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I'm pretty much done with it, as done as it's gonna get.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
still
the same way.
fairly wet in a lot of ways.
I think I'm gonna try and do some dry
Yours
brushing.
has this sexy head tilt going on.
She does. She's very tilted. Which makes it awkward to photograph stuff sometimes, but
Yeah, it does. Ben, do you have one of the flesh lumps?
No, they creeped me the fuck out too much. So I think that I donated mine to somewhat to a listener.
Nice.
For a raffle, because I was like,
no
I was
way.
fascinated in the way that you can't look like a train wreck kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fascinated, but during the talk back, I was getting queasy looking at it.
I would have opened it. I'm glad I'm not the listener that got it, because I would have opened it.
Also, that was the thing, was that at least the one I had in front of me wasn't perfectly vacuum sealed.
Ooh.
So it looked like, when you get the thing of hot dogs and then you pierce it, and now the plastic is still in the shape of the hot dogs,
Yep.
but there's air underneath.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of like that, which made it even grosser.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Better
it was.
anchors.
Those things were epic. I didn't want it in my house.
I could.
I
pass
also-
there.
I also didn't want to have to explain that to my wife and or kids, because
At some point, someone's going to
They
ask
don't-
about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just say it was something from a podcast and it's awesome, but they would get it. But I was just like,
Yeah.
Still one of those things that it's awkward to
Awkward to explain.
talk about. Yeah.
It's like, hey,
it's the fish
honey,
heads.
why do you have a vacuum sealed flesh lump in here?
Don't worry about
Why
it.
don't
Dear.
you, honey?
Yeah, the thing is, I'm in a mixed marriage, by which I say I'm a nerd and she's not.
Yeah, that's
Or
what.
excuse me, let me rephrase. I'm a geek and she's not. Because there is a difference.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So, like, when our son decided to start watching Star Wars on his own, and I was like, yes, I'm going to start talking to him about what kind of costume he wants, and maybe I can take him to his first con this fall. And she just goes like, you're turning him into a nerd. I'm like, yeah. She goes, I'm happy you guys are bonding, but I just don't get it.
It's fair.
I'm like, yeah.
And that's okay.
And I don't get why you would love to go to an arena with thousands of people to watch Taylor Swift. I like the music. I wouldn't want to go to it. She's like, oh. I'm like, yep, see?
The most I will do is go to the orchestra where they will play not Final Fantasy. Well, they are playing Final Fantasy music, but on Saturday we went and saw them play Lord of the Rings while they played the movie on the big screen.
Oh, that's
cool.
I've always wanted to do one of those for any of the big films. Anything that's got like a John
score.
Williams or a Hans Zimmer, Howard Shore.
Well, I will let you
Harry
know.
Gregson
You'll
Williams,
just come out here. They do.
John Horner.
They do them every summer here because the place that they do them in the area is an outdoor venue.
Yes.
And like lawn seats where you bring your own lawn chair and whatnot is like cheap.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they do them here in the Symphony Hall in San Francisco, but it's just pick and shoot. I've got 2 very young kids, and so it's a time thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But we did just take the elder child to see Jason Mraz in the Greek Theater in Berkeley, because my wife and I are big fans of his. We've seen him several times, and his shows are just amazing, just so positive.
Yeah.
And they're just so nice and feel good music. It was great.
That.
I have to ask Prison Mom, was there a possum in the freezer? What is happening in your life right now? This is the comment. A real thing that I said last week was, is the possum still in the freezer?
I feel like I should know this story.
I need more context, please.
I mean, I know down in like Mississippi they have the Raccoon Festival every year, which is actually like a food festival.
Yeah.
I would assume it just has to do with that, or has to do with, varmint food.
Or it's an actual possum in the freezer.
Well, it would be if you caught the possum and you were going to eat it. It would be an actual possum.
That's fair.
As long as it's dressed. Not like your fish heads are dressed or undressed.
God damn it.
Yep.
DP, you don't listen to the outtakes of the show, do you?
I don't. So
You're not used to hearing me out of character.
So that's the thing is I often don't even get to listen to like early access stuff, even though I am a patron, because my life has gotten really busy where like and then the other thing is I try and wait for the episode to come out so that it comes and you guys get the numbers on your actual thing. Yeah, always. But I'm also the person that has fallen asleep to the Redacted reports, had fucked up dreams, and went, stop doing that, and then did it again.
We all make mistakes like that. It's fine.
But there have been lots of times where I've had ideas for like characters in your guys' world because of these dreams. So I have drawn all sorts of things, not just the fish heads.
Oh, I've got a list of like interesting concepts for backup characters kind of things.
Yeah.
Nice.
That would be cool. One thing I do when I'm just brainstorming like fantasy characters or characters for writing, because I'm finally actually getting to play, but for a long time when I started getting into the scene, it was, oh, this would be a cool character to play. Oh, this would be a cool character to play, and then never playing.
Yeah.
But I use Hero Forge way too much, and I just make all the characters there. The problem is Delta Green characters, it's all modern and uninteresting looking.
My big thing, especially, so I play a lot of D&D, not just for podcasts or things like that, but just in general. And usually what I do is I will start drawing the character, and that's when they tell me their backstory. And one of them, I have a Kalishatar, which is like a 2 soul in 1 body.
I ran an Eberron game for a while. I love that. I love Eberron. So yeah.
She has a soul that used to live in her mother, that her whole family was murdered. And then like she was like, "Hey, I will protect you if you let me take control." So that soul is in control of this body, but it's not supposed to be the dominant soul. And
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So the quarry has kind of taken over.
Yes. And it's one of those things that like, and she has been since this kid was 11, basically. And like they have conversations with each other.
Okay, see, now you're getting into horror for me.
Oh yeah.
Because like my ultimate horror is like the trapped in a coma. That's my like pull the plug, please, for the love of God.
So the thing is about that though is it is all by choice. Okay. So like if the other soul was like, no, I want to live life now, she would be like, okay, and back off. But she's still dealing with all the trauma from her family. So
how am I not surprised that Danny's looks amazing?
I mean, every time. Every time. But yeah, so I drew her character. Yours looks great.
I'm realizing I actually should have probably like filed down some of the features to make it a little rougher looking.
So
first, because yours is stylized features enough that it's sort of mild, but mine is more realistic features.
Yeah, it's weird that they make the men's look so real, like the styrofoam heads, because I bought a male one, and it looks exactly like yours. Like, yours has ears. Ours doesn't have ears.
No, she has
Well, they're
ears.
different, because there's a female version of this one that I've also seen at Michael's where I got this one.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen male versions of the more anime style.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, all of them seem to be very gendered, and none are...
Yeah.
They are not, yeah.
Yeah.
No gender neutral heads.
Nope.
So now that there are 3 of them in the world, Dan's just gonna start putting more fucking heads in the green box.
I wonder if that one points north because it's pointing to another one.
Stop saying words, Danny.
You're welcome, Dan.
Damn it, Danny.
To quote our Discord, SGDI, stop giving Dan ideas.
Never.
Though I do think the head with the hatchet was from the module that we were playing, that it was found in the green box. But we've also had items that were found in that green box that became major plot points in later seasons.
Yeah.
Because they were interesting or cool, or we decided... what's somebody saying in chat? I can see you both looking at
Stop
screens.
saying words, Danny. It's another good t-shirt.
Speaking of t-shirts, I am wearing my Desert Shrimp Truck shirt.
Yes!
So
I need to get one of those.
I have the pattern still. I will make you one.
Can it be in purple?
Absolutely.
Or black?
I need to get another one because I put on more COVID weight.
I can make more shirts, man. And hey, I'm coming to visit, so
yeah. No, we've had items like you said this was spoiler zone, so in episode 4 or season 4, a shotgun shell came up and became an important thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was something in our original pre-podcast game because this started as a home game, and after playing one short scenario of 2 sessions, we sort of went, we've got lightning in a bottle, we got to do something with this.
Yeah.
How it always happens.
Okay, Ren said, we've got lightning in a bottle, we need to do something with this. But that was just an item that was a random ass item that was in our green box we received, but I took notes. So when we were going to Afghanistan, my character looked through and picked that as something potentially useful. And Dan told me later, he went, oh, shit, okay, I have to figure out what this does now.
Yeah, that's always the trick.
Yeah.
We do that to him a lot. Like, I had one where I made my character get arrested because he's like, and I asked him later, were you expecting that? He goes, no, I wasn't expecting you to commit larceny.
Oh, that just happened.
That just happened.
Wait, is that the episode that is only an early release, or is that the one before?
No, that's the one before.
No. Okay, because I listened to the early release one because I was like, can't stop, won't stop.
No, that was just my character was trying to pull an intimidate check, basically, which does for D&D terms, and walked out of the convenience store going, you'll pay for this, right? And walked out. And the clerk didn't pay for it. And it was on tape.
Yep.
As someone whose first job was at a convenience store, I hated that because I was like, man, that's some shit that people would pull on me. And I wouldn't be old enough to pay for their beer.
But in the context of what was happening, it was totally about that person paying for it, not the random convenience clerk.
No, just
yeah. No, definitely.
Like, Rooster's an asshole, but he's an asshole on purpose.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He's an equal opportunity asshole, but it's always directed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not want to like Rooster, but he is one of my favorite characters.
I did not want to like Rooster either. So I've told this story before, but my character when this was a home game was supposed to die at the end of the scenario. The problem was because I was like, okay, Marine veteran. I don't know. How the hell do I play a Marine veteran? I'll just make him an asshole and make him very tactically astute. The problem was he was too tactically smart. There was no way he would fall for the thing that would have killed him.
Right.
Yep.
So when we started season 1 of the podcast, I was going, okay, I'll just play him and he'll die. We'll do it here. And none of the other players knew. It was just me and the GM. So the point was to be kind of like a surprise and, raise stakes and stuff. And about 3 or 4 sessions of recording in, I said, this character's actually really growing on me as he's fascinating because he's so like me in some ways and so absolutely not in others. I really kind of want to play with this character more. Can we just make him my new character? And we went with it, which is good because, as Ren has told me, if we had ended up ever going with the character I was planning, she would have just pushed him off a cliff at some point.
All right.
Yeah.
Rowan would not have liked Router at all.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I remember
we
hearing you guys talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love Rooster. I actually love everybody. Sus of the 2 new people. I'm just a paranoid bitch.
The Disaster Twins. I love them so much.
I don't think anybody knows this but Ren. When
you drew fish heads.
No. When
you drew fish heads on the chibi?
Stop it. I have done that, but I'm gonna lose my thought. Hold on. When oh my gosh, what is his name?
Joseph?
Other military boy.
Rory.
Thank you, Rory. When Rory's phone
You drew fish heads on Rory?
No, stop. I'm
gonna let you finish, but DB made the best Tumblr of all time.
Best Tumblr?
The Tumblr with the chibi
art. Yes. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the website.
Oh no, I haven't visited that since they. Wait, should I say that?
Since they got rid of the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
horn.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Let's be honest.
when the green triangle showed up on his phone, and then like that's just where it ended. I had to message Ren and go, "Did you guys just like fade to black kill this character?" And she goes, "No, that's not what happened." And I went, "Good," but that's what it felt like to me. Because you see all these things where they're like, "Oh, this person doesn't work in this secret organization anymore. We have to take care of them." Wink. And I'm like,
Yeah.
drove off a cliff and he's dead now. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we would have made it clear that that's what happened, but I see where you're coming from, and that's amazing. And DB, stop saying words because Dan's listening.
yeah, because hasn't been checked for moles.
Who asked that?
Dan.
There we go. But no, it was actually really kind of surprising that Rory was the first character who left, and that was why.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense when you saw what happened to Rory, but that it was someone retiring and actually getting a happy ending.
Yeah.
In a horror podcast.
Yeah, it was very much like.
I mean, granted, he's going insane and seeing an elder god and stuff, but
aside from that,
yeah,
it literally was what I listened to that episode and I let it sit and I listened to it a few more times and then I was like, Ren, did you murder this character that I fell in love with? Like, and she's like, no.
Let's be honest. If we did, we would have like zoomed out on. Oh shit! Where'd my zoom go? There it is.
Zoom out. Okay.
Yeah. If we had done that, we would have like zoomed out on Rooster watching like from a mile away on his sniper rifle, and just in his earpiece hear "take the shot," and then hear a sound effect of a rifle and cuts black. That's what we would have done.
Or a car crash was the other thing.
Something like that.
But it was just vague enough to make me go, no.
This isn't The Sopranos. We are not that vague.
I had to make sure. And
it's great. I love it.
At that point, Red gets all of my stupid little like, what is happening?
Okay, well, I want them now too because Agent Harold, who edits the supplemental case files every Monday, I love it. We just get this. Ren and I get this stream of live reacts. I love it.
Nice. I think when because I started the podcast a lot later than everybody else. I think you were already like 3 seasons in, and I one of those moments where I'm driving to Georgia by myself. It's a 10-hour car ride, and I got.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ohio.
Oh, okay, you said that.
Yeah. That's fine. But I'm driving through the mountains listening to you guys, and I'm like, what's happening? Why didn't I start this sooner?
I told you.
I know, but I get very weird.
No, I understand. And there's like limits and by physics about the number of hours in a day and things like that.
Well, and it's also one of those things that like I am very much one of those people that if you tell me I have to do something, I won't do it. But then like I got into it. I listened, to 10 hours of it on the way down there and then had to work during the week, so I just kept listening to it while I was working. And on the way back, I got to the end of it and I was like, well, now I'm a patron. Like,
that's kind of what I did with Quest and Chaos. They were in season 1 of Chaos Agents, so I've been friends with Ren.
Yeah.
We met on the battlefield, literally an SCA battlefield in like 2005, 2006 or something, and didn't see each other for another 10 years or so. And randomly ran into each other when Faye moved to the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got closer, and I did that. I would sit at work listening or like watching in a little corner of my screen of Chaos Agents, and then I would switch to the podcast for my drive home, and then put it on headphones because I was at home alone at the time, and then go to bed, wake up, put it on headphones, put it in the car, go to work, do it. And I went through like 30 some odd 3-hour streams in like a week and a half.
Yeah. That's how I got through Critical Role. Like, when I first moved to Ohio, I had no friends. And, like, one person at work was like, oh, you should listen to Critical Role. And I was like, okay. And then it was literally every waking moment. If I was at work, if I was doing anything, it was Critical Role was on.
Yep.
And that's how I got through that. And now I can't get through it anymore because I'm like, burnt out.
Yeah, that
I never did Critical Role because by the time I heard about it, there was like 400 hours worth.
Yeah.
But I'm doing that slowly with Dimension 20 now. I watch the new seasons as they come out.
Yeah.
And when I've got time, since I'm sneak peek, I'm unemployed still, but I might have good news soon.
Yay!
I'm not going to say it so I don't jinx it.
Yeah.
But so I'm at home, as I'm puttering around the house, I put something on headphones, and I'll do that. I'm slowly going through sort of the past seasons bit by bit.
Yeah. Sometimes, so at the point, when I stopped listening to Critical Role, I was listening to 4 other D&D podcasts. So by the time I stopped, I was like, I am done with D&D stuff. And then I was in my own D&D podcast. And then like the pandemic hit and I was running games for friends who needed a distraction. That's how we got Roll for Weird. Also, that is how Ren, Danny, and I kind of became friends. Was beginning of pandemic. Ren and I were just talking, and Ren was like, I need a distraction. And I was like, well, I can run Monster of the Week for us. And Ren was like, I would love that. And I'm like, okay. And started Monster of the Week for Roll for Weird, and then it took off. But, like, Danny, Ren, and I got a lot closer than I think we ever would have been if we hadn't have done that.
Yeah. And
then I got into the redacted reports, and then I started making fish head art and other things.
I'm excited to see the other art stuff in places. It like made me giddy to see my little chitties on the talkback. For the
I'm sorry, you're what?
My little chitties, the little cute guys.
Okay,
that's
what
not
I heard.
What he heard.
Whatever. We're that kind of podcast stream.
So being on the East
Coast. That was
Coast,
not an intentional roosterism. That was just like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
You were talking about birds, right? You were talking about the birds.
Yes, that's it.
It is so much fun seeing that stuff on the talkback, especially because when I stayed up, I kept myself awake. And because it is so much later here, when you guys started that, it was like 10 p.m. or something, and you didn't end until almost midnight. And I'm like, no, stay awake. They need to know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's like, we started here, it was 4 p.m. I'm like, luckily my nieces are visiting. Kids, go play and watch a movie while I'm in here.
Yeah.
Time zones suck.
Time zones make sense as long as they don't change twice a year.
Yeah, it's fair.
That also is a pain.
It really is.
I mean, I could go into the science of like all the studies that say it's bad for mental health. There's the dangerous 2 weeks. Most dangerous 2 weeks for car accidents are the weeks right after
a time change.
Yikes. That was not dry brushed enough. That was wet brushed. But yeah, I mean, anyway, but that's just an obvious thing.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get out there next year to like meet Ren in person finally and do all that jazz. Meet
Yes.
some of you guys.
Yes, we'll set up a one shot of some sort or something.
I would love that. It's one of those things that like Ren has been like, hey, when are you coming out? And I'm like, I don't know, Monday. But I think 2024 will be the time that I get to visit and see people and bug Ren. Also, I can't work from California, so it'll have to be an actual vacation.
Oh darn.
Oh, because you do like in-person work.
No, because of taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a handful of states that I'm not allowed to work from. So, and all of the East Coast is some of them. So no Washington, no Oregon, no California.
West
It
Coast.
looks. Did I say East
You
Coast?
did say east.
Yeah.
I do this
But
all the
we
time.
know what you meant.
West
It's okay.
Coast. Yeah.
Okay.
It looks so good, Danny.
Thanks. I think I'm going to stop messing with it. She says after planning to stop messing with it like 3 times already.
That's usually what happens.
It's always what happens.
I decided I was done a while ago, but I felt bad sitting here just chatting about anything and nothing and not like doing the art project.
But we did the art. It's
Sweet.
fine.
Sweet
Especially-
Summer Child. That is what this show is.
Yeah, that's what we do. We start.
Well, I'm a fiddler.
Yeah.
I do something, and I didn't want to be rude and just be like sitting here looking like I was playing on my phone the whole time.
I will tell you this. This is a show where we will let you fiddle.
Yep.
Because
Well,
we
Rob
are.
Burns.
I like it.
It
So
looks so good.
the hatchet comes out the side of the head.
I don't know.
Hey, Dan.
Dan! Where is
That's-
the hatchet?
That's what I imagined. It was. I
Okay.
put it in the top of the head. It's
Right.
just. It's a hatchet. It comes out the side.
But which, like, does the handle come out the side, or does the handle come out the front or the back?
It's an audio medium. I don't know.
That's why we're
Dan,
asking. He'll get to us eventually.
please.
So I have a very important question.
I have an answer. Let's see if they match.
All right. So ignoring Ophelia, because Ophelia is everyone's favorite.
Megalopolis.
Megalopolis.
Sorry, it did.
Yeah.
Megalopolis.
Oh, hold on. Dan,
It didn't match.
how is the hatchet in the head? Like, is the handle out in the front, out in the back, left side, right side?
Do we have an answer?
Tell us.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But
I said it's an audio medium. It doesn't matter.
my question
No,
is,
that's what I always did to my students. Is I would just
Gotcha.
come up with some like SAT word and throw it in, and they'd be like,
Dog.
"We know it doesn't match." I'm like, "Well, then stop saying you have a question. Just
Mm-hmm.
ask the question."
Okay, so what I think we have to do is each of us just picks a direction.
that works.
Because he said shrug. Helpful.
All right.
That's what I said.
Yep. It doesn't matter. What matters is that the handle points north. And
Then we'll
or
just send
choose
them
something
all
else.
with Danny to give to Dan at the next talk back.
because I'll see you before I see them. So I can take a bunch of heads.
Yes. Did you see the what the fuck am I seeing, Danny?
Yep.
I had the which you them. I can't see
That's
who
the thing
she's
with, yeah, pointing and yeah.
pointing at. Yeah.
I'll see you before I see them. First.
I'm like, them plural or them non-gendered?
Non-binary.
Yes.
No, you're right. You will see me.
Yes.
When is your
2
work-
weeks after.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that reminds me. In the making my name say like that one asshole, I totally forgot. There we go. That's better.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Well, if we normalize it for cis people or cis appearing people, then
Yeah.
using pronouns isn't a sign of not being cis.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's one of those I keep forgetting because I have
Zoom
to
already has
change.
it.
Well, Zoom has just my name, but I have to change it for different shows that I'm on.
Mhm.
And so if I'm just me, I don't mess with it. But when I'm playing different characters, it's the character's name and pronouns. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to.
But anyway, you
set
were
my
going to
default.
ask a question,
Yes.
and then I went off on interrupting tangents.
I also interrupted.
fine.
It was also my fault.
But we're going to take Ophelia off the table because Ophelia is everyone's favorite NPC for the most part.
Okay,
Love,
of course.
bless.
Do you have a favorite NPC?
Or PC that's not yours.
I mean, PC is hard because I've talked the most with Ren, being one of my closest friends, and we did a lot of talking characters, especially in the early days of figuring out the relationship between Rooster and Rowan.
Right.
And stuff. And that's the one Rooster's closest with. So, but the relationships, I'm so surprised at the relationship he has with River now.
Yes,
You
I'm
look at
loving
us-
that.
You look at us back in season 2, one of my favorite moments when we were like saying nasty fucking things at each other that Dan had to kind of pause and make us have a safety check break. And now you look at the two characters are,
Yeah.
Like dad friends. It's great.
Yeah.
NPCs, the problem is there's so many. I have to think back like different seasons
Right.
and ignore the seasons that we've recorded
Yeah.
Yeah.
or the stuff we've recorded season. I mean, I liked Hayes in season 1, the
Okay.
deputy that was just
Yeah.
Yes.
because my view of him, or at least Rooster's view of him, was just this like greasy little slime ball, which he wasn't really. He was doing his job, but he was in our way,
Yeah.
Yep.
which is why I slashed his tires.
Exactly.
Season 2. I mean, season 2 for me is in general just probably Father and all of it. He's the NPC we've had the most. But also just like season 2 is when it really felt like it was coming together, even except for the fact we didn't have Joseph, which made me very sad.
Right.
Yeah.
And season 3, let's be honest, was 3 seasons.
Yes, it was.
It was an
lot.
It was an experiment with us, but it was 3 seasons.
And
Yeah.
it worked well. But I think I'm glad you're, or at least season 4, and you're on 6 now.
6 now is
So,
being
yeah,
released.
4 and 5 stayed more contained. I don't
It
mind
was
them
an
sprawling, but
Yeah, well, it was an experiment with trying like 3 sort of mini arcs
right.
Yeah.
in one season, but they went longer, and it's just like it would have just calling them different seasons wouldn't have made a difference.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it would have made it more sense. But NPC wise, I'm thinking there have been so many good ones. Ophelia, of course, stands out.
Of course.
The other hard part is I've learned how many of the NPCs are based on real people.
That makes things a little bit different too.
That Dan will base them on his friends, or especially people who have passed, so he likes to immortalize them
Yeah.
this way so that they live forever. And probably what was his name? I think his name was Doug, the guy with the dogs in Afghanistan.
Right.
Yeah.
That was based on a real person who never came home.
Yeah.
And so Dan put him in, and he was actually one of my favorites, the way his attitudes and the way playing with dogs.
Yeah.
I am a big dog just in general,
Yeah.
so probably him.
That's
All right.
that's awesome. Dan's is Alexia, apparently.
Well, of course Dan's is Alexia.
Dan gets to talk like a Valley girl as Alexia. Like, honestly,
Alexia's
hearing
fantastic.
Dan talk like that is the funniest thing ever. Oh,
It's so funny because every time he does it, he complains about the voice.
yeah.
Yes.
Listen, I'll do it for you, Dan.
Although there's also Trevor, who we
Yeah.
love to
Love to hate. Yep.
Yeah.
Poor
Sick.
Poor Trevor. I was like, everybody's like, oh, I hate Trevor. And I'm over here like, why?
Because we all know a Trevor.
Yeah.
I think he's just stereotypical enough that we all know that one guy and we hate that one guy.
Yeah.
But not Trevor. He just
No,
reminds
just
us
that
of the
guy.
person we hate.
Yep.
I don't. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. Probably the only person didn't hate Trevor.
I didn't hate Trevor either. I think he's hilarious. I love whenever he shows up because, until Rooster had to deal with him, in which case he was just like,
no.
Can I shoot something yet?
No,
then again, that was that whole season.
Yeah, Rooster at the Burn was out of his comfort zone. And then that season made me go, do I want to go to the Burn? I would not survive the Burn, but I kind of want to go. Like,
Well, it was a really cool. I can only speak for Rooster because that I'm in his head, or he's in my head, something like that.
Yeah, there's something.
Kind of like your character. I've got two souls rolling around. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're just jealous because the voices don't talk to you. Move on.
Anyway, to me all
it was a real interesting one for me doing season 5 because we had the 2 new characters, one of whom was a new player. Rooster had gone through major trauma and had hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Like, who was at the point he was thinking of eating his gun. And I knew that this season would be working on him climbing out. So we threw him in the most unnatural, weirdest situation humanly possible for Rooster to be in. And I spent the entire time as a player just going, what the fuck does he do here? Which worked for him.
So at the end of that season, when Rooster finds his, I can never, Elena. I always get her name mixed up. When Rooster finds Elena, my first thing that I screamed at my phone was check for moles.
Well, let me ask you this.
Oh God.
Rooster checks for moles.
Yeah.
Based on what we know about the clones so far, do you think Rooster would want to know?
I don't think he would at this moment, because it would be him, and I'm talking about your character. This is all you, but I
just went into teacher mode right there. I have an answer for what I think, but I'm curious.
I think with him being as vulnerable as he was in that moment, he would not have checked for moles at all, and it would have taken probably a lot of time and a lot of therapy before he even thought about checking for moles.
Well, so the next question then is, we've seen him a few months later now. It looks like their relationship is going well. And it's not like they haven't seen every inch of each other's body multiple times a day.
Yes.
God, the stamina of that man, I can only dream of.
Viagra.
We've actually hinted at that.
I know you have.
But anyway, at this point, there's no way he doesn't know one way or another.
Yeah.
We've never mentioned it one way or another, and I think it's, at least so far, I think it's better that way, because it leaves that question of, that emotion of like, even if he knew, would he do anything about it?
Yes. It also gives us a thing that if later you guys decide that, oh yes, she is a clone, it can come up later, or it doesn't have to come up at all ever. No shame in store, but it's true. I'm not gonna. But that was one of the moments where I messaged Ren, paused the episode, and went, "Why didn't Rooster check?" Like, I know why, but also the fact that like it had been such a big thing in the last part of this season. I was like, she's not really there. This is a fucked up thing that aliens are doing. Like,
but at the same time, we'd also had the rule of threes already.
Yeah.
We'd already had 2 sightings.
Yeah.
Or potential sightings.
It's true. But it was definitely one of those things that like
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
the paranoia was
and
there.
I like that fact. That's what I like, the fact that so far it hasn't been mentioned, but that doesn't mean there are or aren't any moles.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I like, that vagary. It's kind of like, one of my favorite films is Inception.
Mm.
I like Nolan's earlier stuff. But anyway, I know there is technically an answer,
Yeah.
but the very last scene, are you familiar with that movie? Either of you?
No, I have
No.
not watched it.
It's fantastic. All the imagery is based on a Poe poem, an
Yeah.
Edgar
Oh.
Allan Poe poem. Yeah. He has a
Okay.
poem called Dreams,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
or Dream Within a Dream is the name of the poem. So the whole movie is about like going into people's dreams.
Mhm.
And it's like a reverse heist within someone's dream. So you're planting a seed of a thought. And the main character has a little top, and he knows that if he spins it, if it falls over, he's in the real world. But if it keeps going, he's in a dream.
Okay.
And it's like his way to keep him. And
Yeah.
this, I think it's worth seeing, and the very last image, he spins it and walks away.
Oh. So you don't know
And-
if he's in
And
it or
you
not.
see it wiggle just enough that you could think, oh, it's going to wiggle and straighten back out, or it's going to wiggle and fall. And I think that mastery of that bit, even though there is a correct answer about it, there are little clues.
Yeah.
But I think that uncertainty is what's so beautiful, because to the character in that moment, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's just one of those things that like with everything that happens in the last season, it was just one of those things that I was sitting there going, Brewster's gonna be taken over next. We don't know what the clones are doing.
Nope, it's fine.
Shut
Sorry.
up.
Aliens.
Yeah. I'll finish it for him.
Yep. I did resubmit that art.
Which art?
The chibis that I drew.
Oh,
I
right.
have
Yes.
updated.
Yes. Again, I feel bad talking about it, but yeah, this is a spoiler zone, you said.
Yep.
Oh no, it is 1000% a spoiler zone. If you haven't listened up to the latest episode, not the early release one, we're not talking about that one.
Nope.
But the one before that,
Yep.
sorry
spoilers.
about you.
And I'm still trying to be semi-vague if I can,
Yes,
but
we're not
that's just
getting
me.
into like super details, but
No, we never do usually.
Okay.
not unless
But
something
we-
really makes us mad.
Yeah.
When things make us mad, we will dig into a specific
Note
detail.
to self when you're
Oh.
going to want people back later. Sorry, what?
Oh dear. Oh, hi.
You may or may not be mad at a
Noted.
future episode that may or may not happen.
Okay. Well, yep.
For that, we'll bring the whole cast on so that Danny and I can yell at all of you collectively and not just some of you in the chat.
We can do that.
Yeah.
It's our
Okay.
show. I can put on extra
Yeah.
boxes. It's fine.
We're the producers. We got this.
Yep. That's the nice thing about running our own show. It's fantastic.
We're just like, everybody in here now. We need answers.
Well, that's why we have the talkbacks, to be honest, because we also have Agent Harker is like, you are not allowed to say this, you are not allowed to say this,
Yeah.
you are not allowed
Yeah.
to say this.
Oh,
I will construct the questions, thank you very much.
that
yeah,
is-
see, we wouldn't have you on to ask questions. We just have you on to yell at
No.
you.
Yeah, we're just here to
It's like
be
getting
like,
called
"What,
into the principal's office.
Danny and I hear your principles. The two-headed principal of Danny and
Oh.
DP.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Is it the double D principle?
god damn it.
That feels like a title for something different entirely.
Well, DB, you really don't know me well enough, because there are
I
so many
know.
He's
good
being so
ones
well
that I
behaved.
have let slip. Danny knows me. I have been so well behaved tonight, and there have been so many where I'm like, that's a good one. Oh, I could go here and break them, but I'll be good.
So the thing is,
I'm only telling the dad joke versions tonight.
You're right. I don't know any of you that well. For one thing, I am such a nervous person when it comes to like Discords. So like you all have so many people in your Discord and you guys are like chatting all the time and I'm like, fish, and then I'm running away. Fish and running away.
Oh God. I'm now imagining like a World War II dive bomber just like dropping a fish.
Yep.
That's basically what it would be. It would be like, okay, I've done these arts. Ren always gets the first look. Send them to Ren, and then I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go drop these in the Discord, and then I'm like, bye, and then that's all you get. Because then I'll go back and people are like, oh, okay, and I'm like,
no, you need to hang out more because especially because all of us personally are like, oh my God, these are amazing.
well, I'm glad. I just can't do it. There's too many people around.
It's fine. We love you, even if you're not willing to hang out a lot. It's cool.
I often go, oh my God, people are like, no, this crazy fish lady is back. Send her away.
No, we like the crazy fish lady. Look, there are all sorts of crazy type of people there. It's fine.
Oh, it's true. It's true. But I'm just like, oh,
did
man.
know someone who kept amazing aquariums all over the house. So I guess that would be a crazy fish person instead of a crazy cat person.
Yeah. I knew one of those too.
One of my roommates used to study fish. So she would talk to me about fish things and I'd just like glaze over and I'd talk to her about
draw
literature.
it up. You just draw it?
No, not back then. No. I freaking love that fish head calendar. Oh God,
I don't know who that is. Who is?
I don't either.
Desert Nico? Nico?
Oh, I know Desert Nico.
Who's that? Do we know?
That is Dan's partner, TJ.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
That is.
Oh God, Dan's partner knows about them too.
Of course.
Of course.
They were not okay. So the thing is the fish heads were not supposed to be a thing. They were just a little thing that I made, and they were not going to be a big thing. Then they turned into a big thing. And then my friend, in the middle of one of my own video game streams, was like, "You should do an art stream where you show off the fish heads." And I went,
"Yep.
How dare you?" And then I did the thing, and I'm like, "This will either make people leave quickly, or they'll stay." Whichever.
One of the
other.
other.
No, we're all sticking around for this one.
Dude, it's on my desk. Of course you see it. Mine is hidden away in a drawer because I have the first prototype.
Well, the only reason mine's not up on the wall is because it's still this year.
It's for 2024, yeah.
I want to put it up on the wall, but I also have young children, and it's
not
about the fish or the art. It's more about just in general. I don't know. There's just a lot of questions. There's just a lot of questions involved that I don't want to handle, and honestly, the fish heads might be the biggest one.
I also, there are a lot of questions that people have for me as well.
Are there questions you have about the fish heads?
Yeah. Why the fuck did I do this? And they've turned out really good. I'm very proud of a lot of them. Some of them I'm like, they could have been better, but whatever. But
both the artist quandary. You're always your worst critic.
Exactly.
100%.
But it's definitely one of those things that like I had showed my little sister at one point. She's like, "Don't send these to me anymore." I was like, fair enough. And I went, so anytime I'm like, "Hey, do you want to see some not weird art?" And she's like, "Yes." So she gets things like D&D characters, because I draw D&D characters.
Yep.
That's a new thing that I've started doing. One of our friends from the knitting side of all of this, his daughter started playing D&D, and
is that Knitting Daddy?
Yes.
Yeah, I won't say his name.
Oh.
He's in our Discord with that name.
Is,
so
yes, he is, but I will not say his username. I only call him Greg because he will clip me saying it, and then he'll just have it on repeat.
Okay, clip. Is anybody? It was like 6:04.
I didn't say it.
Did you?
I didn't.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am. I am very careful. His name is Greg.
I say it. I say it all the time. It's fun.
Oh, I'm so glad that everybody likes the calendars, because the other thing about the calendars was I was like, Ren, please ask your cast if they want one, because I don't want to send something that makes you all uncomfortable, because they are a very niche thing.
I think all of us were a little like, because Faye asked us, and I said like, yeah, Fishhead art calendar, okay. Yeah, sure. I think we were all kind of there.
Yeah.
And then we all saw them and we're like, oh my God, yes.
I'm glad, because they were fun, and there was like this moment of I had done too many and I was running out of ideas, and I was like, fuck. But I got it done, and they all look pretty good.
Yes.
See, I love it also because my style is so totally different. I'm again more from the like recreate the real thing side. Like if I were gonna do this on my own, I would probably get like a block of wood and start roughly carving a head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if I were to do that, I was already thinking like, okay, I'll just go find some images of like 60s penthouses, print them out, cut some pieces of fish heads and tape them on, and like, but yours is actually clean, which is also what I love. Mine would not be, because
it was very much I am not gonna draw this in that like sexual kind of way. I was like, let's do more of like a pinup thing that's a lot of fun. But also my mom goes, honey, I don't understand, and I'm like, that's okay. And
that's what my dad says about the whole podcast.
Right. And
he's tried a couple times to listen to it, and he's just like,
she is the same way, but it was one of those things that I was like, listen, you know what penthouse is? And she goes, yeah. And I was like, well, they could be that. And she's like, oh.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Could be.
Yeah.
Could be much more. So.
You guys are gonna make me draw more fish head art. I think there's some that no one's seen either.
Wait for the rest of the season and see what comes up this time. You never know.
Might be a blobfish that comes up.
Oh no!
From the deep.
I also like, if anybody is wanting something from the podcast, I am down to clown. Hit me up. I will draw anything.
I need you to read Loose Threads, and I need.
Well, you need to read Evaluation first.
Well, yes, read Evaluation, but then read Loose Threads, and I just need that moment of Michelle and Jenna in the bathroom. The awkward. Ben knows what I'm talking about.
I'm like, there are a couple, I'm pretty sure.
The first one.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Eldridge Muscle Beach. Really?
Ooh.
Is that like Cthulhu in a... Oh, God, Greg.
Greg's here. It's fine. But no, Eldritch
is that
Muscle
like
Beach.
Cthulhu in a
cathon?
Thank you. Not what I was going.
I want to make muscle shirts.
That wasn't even that bad. Oh my god.
No, I was thinking of like a.
I like hanging out with you. You actually like make me feel like I'm funny, because you have to realize I had kids to legitimize my sense of my dad humor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need to get you and Greg in the same room. Yes,
I've heard this.
Muscle shirts with Eldritch Muscle Beach. I will work on those.
I mean,
Dan put. So Dan's running a D&D campaign right now. There's like a series of. It was supposed to be kind of a series of one shots, and then I think there's like 25 people were interested. Oh, wow. So now he has like 4 or 5 kind of separate little campaigns happening. that are all going to tie together. He put all the troublemakers in one group.
Bad idea.
Well, apparently it's so that he only has to deal with us once
One
a
quarter of the
session.
time.
Only, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there are people who are having to play the straight man, as in comedy straight man,
Yeah.
that you're like, he's doing that? It's like, I mean, let's put it this way. It's 5e. I'm playing a fairy, level 2 barbarian.
Yes. Epic.
Nice.
Sundew is a very cute little dewdrop fairy, and he's got a pot on his head so he can have armor, and a really big axe, which is only just a regular sized axe. And then, wait, did you call me cute? And then, yeah.
Zoom is
Nice.
like, can't handle.
I like it.
It's been, yeah. Oh,
It's a blast playing. Well, also I was trying to challenge myself, not for the humor part, but because Rooster is very, he thinks about everything and trying to find like the best outcome.
yeah.
So or like the best approach, and I'm trying to play someone who's a bit more like instinctual,
Yeah, there's.
which is hard for me to do.
Dan got to see me play a game, and Joseph, because he was in that as well.
Yeah.
I am the sassiest of people. So, like, there was one part I do not want to know what I said, but Dan cackled, and I was like, well, my work here is done. I
Did you make him go purple?
don't think I made him. I don't know. That was such a blur.
Because
Like-
I've seen that twice now. Once, I think we actually, for the first time ever, we released the video of our Zoom call to patrons because it was just so funny. Seth is the master of one-liners.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever believes me when I say this because he's so like kind of under the radar and stuff and very quiet
Yeah.
person, and then all of a sudden he'll say this one thing kind of very nonchalant, and we all just sort of stop. There's a beat, and then all of us just lose our minds.
Mm-hmm. It's convenient for editing that there's that beat before you lose your minds.
True.
Also, that
It's-
we're all recording separately
Yes.
Yeah.
because we're all recording separate tracks.
Yes.
That does make it easier.
It's also how we do our other stuff, because I feel like if we didn't, it would be chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
More chaos. Yeah.
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 So much chaos.
Although, speaking of more chaos and other shows, I have to go back and watch our last episode of Crits and Knits to figure out what the hell we were doing before tomorrow night so I can run a game for you. You know. A good DM that I am, preparing
We
way in advance.
didn't get killed by bridge trolls. We actually
That's
helped them.
true. You made friends with the bridge trolls. That's right.
The rogue who definitely did not steal all of the gems off the dead bodies
Yep. That's it.
made
Well-
friends with the.
Were the gems owned by the rest of your party yet?
Probably some of their loved ones, because the zombies came from our own graveyard.
That's right. Yeah, there's a necromancer who raised
You
the
need to
entire
tell me
graveyard
what
of
I
the retirement
stole.
community, and she just robbed all the bodies.
I was just like, hey, Tony, I'm gonna load the bodies into the cart, but also take all their shit.
Right now, I'm just hacking ghouls apart. He
They're-
sent 10 ghouls and a Noel Pack Lord at 5 level 2s.
Oh.
We are all in very, very deep shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's hysterical because our one healer, no, there's 3 of them that heal, but 2 of them were unconscious. But one of the ones
Shit.
went unconscious, and the way initiative worked, he rolled a death save, got healed, came up, got hit, knocked down. Rolled a death save, got healed, came up, got hit, knocked down. It happened 3 times. in a row, and then we had to end the session for the night, and now it's been like 3 weeks and we're just sitting here going,
Oh no.
are we gonna need to make new characters, or
Yeah, that sounds like my fighter who just got killed in my home game.
Damn.
Yeah, very emotional last game, and we are not playing until like the 12th of August again.
Yay!
yeah, this one we couldn't play on Thursday because of scheduling stuff and someone got sick, but there were apparently extra people who were considering just coming in and listening to the game happen just because they wanted to see what happened and how many of us died.
Nice.
Such a good love D&D. Bless.
I mean, I say D&D as a whole. I love the gaming experience. It's what I've needed my whole life, but never had.
Yep.
I'm enjoying branching into other systems more.
Yes.
I
100%.
like D&D. It meets my sort of high fantasy vibe. But at the same time, it's very attuned for combat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And of the ones I've played, which are very limited, either played or seen played, my favorite is the D100 system.
Oh yeah.
Which like Call of Cthulhu, Delta Green,
Right.
I like it because it doesn't focus on the combat. It's just very simply, you have a percentage of effectiveness for this skill. And the skill could be shooting something, it could be hitting something with a sword, it could be, convincing somebody of something. And so when it comes to dice, it's just a percentage. That's all there is. Combat is a thing that happens, but it isn't the point.
Yeah.
I find that mine is more of Vampire the Masquerade.
See, that's one I haven't played yet. So I don't.
One day, maybe I'll run it for you.
I would love to. The mythos doesn't intrigue me personally a whole lot, but I'm always up to play and learn new things.
If it makes you feel better, I don't usually go into all of that. My big thing is usually mostly homebrewed kind of stories. So like
just like the whole vampire thing.
That's fair.
I think it has to do with my introduction to vampire lore in general.
Yeah.
Because it started with the first time I really learned any of it was like Underworld. The Kate Beckinsale movie, just like great peak early 2000 like metal and emo darkness. Yes. Then I read Dracula.
Yes.
Then I became an English teacher. And then I had a freshman come up one time. I had given them the assignment, you get to choose what book you're reading. And we all went to the library, and I had a freshman come up and say, hey, Mr. C, what do you think of Twilight?
Oh.
Well, as it was coming out, and I said,
yeah.
Well, do you want to know as my opinion as a teacher or as a reader? Because I'm that teacher.
Right.
Ben, what year was that?
This would have been like 2010-ish.
Okay.
DB is a baby.
So I graduated high school in 2010.
Okay.
So like you were talking about, so I read the Twilight books. I was probably a freshman when the first one came out.
In college.
And then like
no in high school.
No.
Okay.
In high school.
Whatever year it was the first Hunger Games was out, but the others weren't yet.
Right.
It was whenever that happened.
Yeah. But it's that's why I was like, wait a minute, was I this kid's age when
close? You would have been like 4 years older.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm old.
No, that's not what I was saying.
You're not old, sweetie.
But so my answer, she asked, okay, well, what about a teacher? And I say, well, if that's what gets you interested, hi, Callie. Then you should go read it, and great. And they said, what about a reader? And I'm like, the whole point of vampires is that they're monsters and they're not pretty and they have sexual attraction in spite of it. And and I went on kind of a mini rant, and she goes, so should I just read Pride and Prejudice instead? Because that was my second choice.
Yes.
And I said, yes. And then one of my other students said, is it okay if I read Dracula? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dracula's
Can I-
fine.
Honestly,
They're going to
like-
come say hi.
Oh,
baby. Oh, sweet baby.
Aw.
She's
It
like,
is
Dad.
it is
what
one
do
of
you-
those things that like read the
Say hi.
books, read all of them except for like,
Hi, Cat.
aw, baby.
Popper. I
Definitely
know.
not something I would reread.
I tried to read them. I really did. I got 7 pages in, and the writing style just...
Was
It's
a
not
lot.
great.
Excuse me. Writing style is a strong word for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had so my folklore teacher who was like, "Hey, come get a folklore minor." She did like folklore and the undead, and she did like a whole study about like the Twilight vampires, which was very interesting. I'm like, you know what? Kudos for you for getting all of that, but I'm over here like, can't do it. Can't do it.
You should talk to Lady Bedivere sometime about vampires in general. Her knowledge
We
is...
talk so much, but I do want to talk more with her. She's too
But-
cool for me. Everybody is too cool for me, Ben. That
I
is
hang
the
out with her in
problem.
I hang out with her in person. She ran a game for me last night. She's too cool for me, so that's okay.
Everybody is too cool for me. Even Danny is too cool for me, and we're in several shows together.
I mean, she's too cool for all of us. so,
I
yeah.
am not cool. I am a big old geek.
It took
I'm a grandma, and I've been a grandma since I was 20. It's
when
fine.
that's the thing though is like
Mentally.
I run
okay.
games. I run games for Ren, and what is happening? I've seen your vampire TikToks. You are very, very cool.
Aw.
Have you? When did you see those, Dan?
Yeah, and you
What's
have a TikTok,
happening?
DB. I've seen
I'll be
your
right
TikToks.
back. I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna close
Okay.
this door
Okay.
and trap the dog in here. With me.
Oh,
We're breaking DB. It's fine.
it is, but like that's the thing is, I still get the Ren is too cool for me, and Ren's like, no, I want to hang out with you in person, and I'm like, why, why?
I know that feeling.
because as a nerd before 20 who was in high school before 2020, you were taught to believe that coolness was based on what you liked and how you acted, not the kind of person you were. But the world is changing and finally coming to its senses, and the scripture was wrong. The geeks inherited the earth.
Yeah.
Look at the major media out there, which is popular.
I know.
My kids are watching little like 7-minute shorts about Spidey and his amazing friends
Yeah.
that has Miles and Gwen as Spider-Man also, and I'm like,
That's
yes,
amazing.
we won.
Yeah, it is definitely one of those things that like, because like I have like messaged Ren at like 4 a.m, and that's 4 a.m. here, and I'm just like, and then they
Oh,
answer,
Ren's probably awake.
they are, and I'm just like, why are you awake? I'm awake because of insomnia. Why are you awake?
Because Faye is
Yeah.
A creature of the night.
contractor, gig worker, and
Yeah.
also creature of the night.
Yeah.
If I had my choice, and I was until I got a 9-to-5 job
Yeah.
and children.
Oh yeah. It is one of the like it is one of those things that like I have those moments where I'm like, nope, all these people are too cool, which is why I don't hang out in the Discord.
Come to the Discord. So I'll say this about the Quest and Chaos Discord. It is a legitimately positive place.
Oh, I know it is. I lurk there. I'm there. But
It's kind of like, and this is gonna really show off my weird nerd side. It's kind of like my Bandit Bluey Dad's Facebook group page that I'm in.
Aw.
If you've
cute.
never seen Bluey, the kids show, it's amazing.
Seen
It's a
little
show
pieces.
for parents in the guise of a kids show.
I love
It's
it.
so good. We were more excited than the kids were when new episodes came to the US.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
Oh, baby.
It's
Oh.
that good.
Hershey, wanna come say hi?
Well, friends, Danny, we are way past when
I
we
know,
usually
yeah.
end this.
But this is the Hershey who is
Bee.
crying.
Aww.
Oh, thank you, baby.
Sorry, I talk a lot. I warned you about this at the beginning.
No, I don't. No, that's not.
That's
That's
fine.
not a problem at all. It's we've had shorter episodes. We've never had an episode go this long, but we are enjoying it because you're amazing. The other
Thank you.
This is the
pupper
Molly. Thank you,
Oh,
baby. Okay.
is like almost a requirement to be on Roll for Weird. Is one of your pets named Molly? You're in.
Yep.
3 of us have Mollies.
Yeah,
as
3 of the
Mine's-
6.
I've got Callie. It's only 2 letters off.
Yep.
That works. Yeah.
You could be in our club.
Am I cool enough for the? Am I cool enough to be in the club?
Absolutely.
You're too cool for the club.
Oh God.
But yes, we
Oh
should
my
wrap up.
gosh.
So let's
Yeah.
do our promos. We'll start with Ben, our guest.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, the Redacted Reports podcast.com. The Redacted Reports. We are on all the podcatchers, Apple, Amazon, Spotify. We're there. And our Discord is linked on the website. Come join us on the Quest and Chaos Network. It's a really positive, great place to be, and amazing show. Actually, be in about a half an hour doing more Tales from Golden Vault,
Ooh. Yeah, I don't think we'll be
which
able
Lady
to
Bedivere is running.
raid, unfortunately, but that's okay.
No. What did I do?
What did you
Oh my
do?
God, I have like promos. This is so weird
I know, it's so
for me,
it's a thing that happens now. Wow.
and not just like me talking to random people and trying to give them a business card.
Mood.
And then
That's me. I'm not like a social media presence. I just post pictures of my dog.
and there's nothing wrong with that. We like dog pictures. We are going to be back. We're going to decide after this how we're going to make this work because I forgot how calendars work. Well, no, I didn't forget how calendars work. I just forgot how to count by 2s, and I got us off by a week.
I was gonna say Gregorian, Julian. What kind of calendar?
Just the standard North American 2023 calendar. It's a
Gregorian.
Gregorian, yeah.
We're on an off week.
Yeah, somehow I got us off by a week. It's because when we were going through the year, I put in all the holidays, and then I didn't delete July 4th. I meant to delete it, but it was there as a holiday, not as a Tuesday. But it was a Tuesday, so it got counted wrong when I was doing dates.
Guess
It
who's back?
happens. It happens.
So we're going to decide later if we're going to be back next week or in 3 weeks. But whenever it is that we come back, we're going to be talking about another podcast, Cast Party.
Fuck.
We don't have a craft lined up for that yet. I'm going to work on something.
I feel like we should just do next week because if we're getting into 3 weeks, we're getting to the end of the month.
True.
Um,
Well, I mean,
and
we'll
we're-
do one in 3 weeks as well because that will be 2 weeks after next week. We'll figure
Yeah,
it out
you're-
later, folks.
you're
Just
not wrong.
keep an
Watch
eye
the
out.
announcements.
Yep, we'll have stuff in our Discord. Join the Discord; it's free. That's where you find lots of stuff. I also post to our Instagram and to our
Ooh, I like it.
whatever. the
Thank
hell
you.
Twitter is
Dan
these
wants to
days.
see the heads again, so
Something makes the lips look even bigger now.
he does look like he's about to come to life.
It's a little
Honestly,
bit creepy.
I didn't know. I was waiting. Those extra 2 words helped.
getting ready to come. I'll stop there. That's fine.
All right. And on
Hold on.
that
Hold
note-
on.
Danny, where can people find you, you goober?
Oh, yeah.
There you go, Dan.
Fantastic. I am all over the place. Uh, let's see. We have on the 29th of this month, 29th? I think that's right. The last Saturday of this month, we have our next meme of the month.
27th.
27th. Okay, thank you. That will be a brand new system debuted by Prison Mom, Tanya. And it's called Night at the Mall. It's going to be fantastic. I'm very excited for this one. So that's coming up. Tomorrow, we're back with Crits and Knits. And I am the DM. And the lovely DB is one of the players. As well as Knitting Daddy and
Lovely.
Ren. And what else?
And you're stealing all your relatives' jewels.
Not my relatives. Everybody
Yeah, no,
else's.
she moved into town. She doesn't know the dead
okay.
people. She just took their stuff.
Yeah.
And you can also now catch me on Mondays on the Ink and Lyre Network for Chromatic Academy Covenstead, a Kids on Brooms game where I am playing Maris, a cheerleader. Who
You played cheerleader so well, though.
she had some big trauma yesterday. So that's going to be fun to deal with next week.
As most cheerleaders should. No, sorry. That is not what I meant.
It's because DB watches horror movies, and so the cheerleader always dies.
Yeah.
Christy, I don't like this. Christy, I don't like this.
Oh,
True.
Thank you for getting that.
yep.
Yeah,
yep.
of course. Love. Yeah.
I think that's it. So thank you everyone for tuning in. This was fantastic. Great to
Is
see our
like
friends.
notorious for forgetting to let me say things like, "What have you worked on tonight?"
I,
What? DB?
DB,
Where can we find you on the Where can we find you on the internet, DB?
You can find me everywhere as Deebles_Todd. My own Twitch channel that I play video games on, and now sometimes D&D. I am here with Danny a lot.
Look, Danny is tired because we played until after midnight last night. So,
But it's only 6:30.
It's just so funny because you're like, I think that's it. And I'm
I
like,
think that's it. Oh, it's fine. I'm sorry.
fine, I'm just giving you shit, honey. But yeah, follow us all on the social medias.
It's on the screen.
Honestly, seriously, check out the Redacted reports. Listen to it
Yes.
from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Absolutely amazing podcast.
Like-
Rooster is amazing. Everybody
Thank
is
you.
amazing in it. Dan
The
is a
audio
great
starts out
stand-up.
good and it gets fucking awesome.
Yes. It gets better as it goes along. Ren just keeps cranking it and making it amazing.
We keep telling Faith to just make like an audition reel already,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
spends too much time editing and not promoting ourselves.
Yeah, it's hard to promote yourself though,
It
honestly.
is.
But yeah, please, if you get nothing else from this, go check out the Redacted reports. I
Exactly.
wish I had done it sooner.
And if you get nothing else, is stick axes and wooden heads.
Yes. Thank you all. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.